missing out. Skylight Hotel and Apartments is home away from home.
Good day, viewers. This is Journalist Explained on NS. My name is Ada Okafor, and today in the studio we have Mr. Kayode Taiwo discussing the topic of the reward given to the Super Falcons of Nigeria. It is no longer news that the Super Falcons of Nigeria were rewarded by the presidency with $100,000 each, 24 players, and $50,000 each, 11 of the technical crew, as well as 3-bedroom apartments. Today, we are here to discuss with Mr. Kayode Taiwo on this recent development. Nice to have you in the studio with us.
It's my pleasure.
I'm good. Thanks for honoring our invitation. First of all, regarding this reward given to the Super Falcons of Nigeria, would you say it is commendable or questionable?
Commendable.
Why so?
Commendable, I will say. Now, there's something that many Nigerians don't seem to understand with the success story of the sports person. Before these ladies get to that level, you see them, a lot of them have actually gone through difficult times. So many times they might have to trek to their training pitches, even before they get all these good clubs that have to check them. So many of them, perhaps, instead of going to school, they went to training sessions without even food and all of that. I'm saying this from personal experience. I've actually been a state and a national athlete before. At the time I played table tennis, later I played football, then I played volleyball, which got me into, which got me a national invitation in 1980. That's about 20 years ago. And then I know what it takes. Now, if you are a sports person in Nigeria and you are not educated, no matter how good you are, how talented you are, the period through which you are still active, if you are not well compensated, later in life you will live a penury life. Simply because Nigeria, the people will tell you that we play professional football in Nigeria. It's simply professional. You can't call it a professional football we are playing. How much are they being paid? All right. Some of these young ladies you see, they have dependents. Some of them also have their personal coaches that groom them from street girls to what they are. They might want to also say, coach, thank you for discovering me and all of that. Now, we are looking at it in terms of Naira equivalents. I don't think it's really too much, because for each and every one of these footballers, that might possibly be the only opportunity in life they have to get such huge compensation. So if people are saying it's questionable, what is questionable about it?
A lot of people have been reacting, saying it's questionable due to the timing, the current economic situation in the country. A lot of people feel that it's not the right time doing something like this. What would you say to that?
No, I won't agree with that. I think what Nigerians should be concerned with majorly is what are the governors doing with increased allocation monthly. What are the local government chairmen and the local governments are doing with increase in the allocation they are getting from this same government. Now, let me tell you one funny thing, is that if this government had not done that much for these young girls, you'll be surprised that it's still these same Nigerians that will say, can you imagine? Somebody said, okay, if you give the ladies such huge sort of amounts for winning African Cup of Nations, what if they win the World Cup? See, they might not even be able to get as much at that time. But this particular victory signifies a lot of things. Don't let us kid ourselves. One, that's the 10th time that Nigerian female team will be winning Africa. So we are the dominant team in Africa. Secondly, if you look at the fighting spirit these girls displayed getting to the final, the various side intimidation they got from the Moroccan fans and all of that, you can imagine playing on a field and some people are, actually shooting laser light on your faces because you are playing. Ordinarily, if you are under ordinary clear lights, you still feel a little bit dazed. How much more when somebody now push laser lights on you and all of that. So they intimidated them. They were leading from 2-0 in first half. Many of my friends who watched that match, they said they didn't even finish with the first half. They just switched off and then. But by the time they woke up the following morning and discover from various platforms that so they were wondering, and they were eager to see how the ladies actually came back. It was not true penalty. It shows the resilience of Nigerians. It shows the doggedness of Nigerians. It shows that Nigeria have this spirit of never say die, and that is a very plus and good image for Nigeria. This is a time that so many people across the world only know some Nigerians for bad behavior. Now we see some young girls, they are not prostitutes. Before you can keep that level of fitness as a lady, you must have deprived yourself so many other niceties, particularly those ones that are above 20. I mean, a lady can get married from 19. He's already matured. But for you keeping that spirit up and playing at that level, how many of our men can do that 90 minutes run that those girls are doing? So I think it's an encouragement, and I see it from another angle, the social impact. Now, girls will now know that if I play football, I can become successful in life. Young lads will also know that if I keep off drugs and pay more attention to whatever sport that I am doing, I can get compensation.
So you think it's a source of motivation?
Yeah, motivation, and a way of taking young ones away from drugs, away from all these various fraudulent activities and all of that. It pays to be hardworking. And it's not just starting now. In 1980, Nigerian Green Eagles at that time won African Cup of Nations. They were given national awards, I think OON or CON. They were given a 3-bedroom apartment at that time. They were also given huge sums of money that, if you look at the value at that time, will almost be equivalent to what these young girls are getting. And if they do that for football, I would just expect that they extend it to other athletes. Yes, football is the king of all sports, no doubt about it, globally, and it also fetch more money. So, giving them such money, I don't see it as anything outrageous, sincerely.
But the question now becomes, is this thing sustainable? Is it going to be a one-off thing, or do you see it actually being sustained across over the years?
See, compensation has to do with the person who is compensating at that time. You see, if I am the president of this country, you may do a little thing that comes at the time that I was expecting something that could just change my psychological situation at that time. Might be very little, but I may see it as a very big thing and compensate in just a way that I would think, is this man crazy? So it's all about the time it comes. And don't let us kid ourselves. Nigeria can do that compensation continuously if we want to do. It's not as if Nigeria is not rich. Some of these players earn more than that in their clubs. And we are talking about most of the players that play abroad. Somebody was doing the comparative analysis of this, and he was talking about when he was in UK, that the normal amala, abula, and the rest of it that we eat here, that he ate it at was it 25 pounds, and we did a translation of 25 pounds in naira, and we are getting almost 45,000. Can you go to any booker in Nigeria and spend 45,000? But this is what these young girls are spending there, because that's where they live. Okay, so I don't see it as any big deal. If there is anything we want government to do, let's tell government to do. But to now say this one is not right, no.
So you see it being sustained at that time?
I see it being sustained, depending on who is on the saddle of. Don't forget that I mentioned Green Eagles, God houses, and all of that. That same period, another team won a silver medal in the Commonwealth Championship. They got just ordinary wristwatches. Just 2 years after the 1980 Cup of Nations, another national team, which is not football, participated in Commonwealth Championship and got silver, second in Commonwealth. That's the first time any Nigerian team will go beyond Africa to win a medal, and they got wristwatches. So it all depends. But the most important thing is that I am an advocate of adequate compensation for our athletes.
All right. Let's go listen to this brief message, and when we come back, we'll still have Comrade Kayode Taiwo discussing the reward of the Super House.
Hotel and a pass. Wow! Have you been there before? If not, you are really missing out. Skylight Hotel and Apartments is home away from home, built with world-class standard in a very beautiful and serene environment. Our friendly staffs gives our customers a warm welcome with royal treats. Our well-decorated rooms are well-ventilated and fully air-conditioned in different sizes such as deluxe, single, and executive, all to suit our customers' tastes. Our bar is top-notch, 24 hours power supply, spacious parking lot, and guaranteed security for your relaxation, vacations, and weekend enjoyment. Skylight Hotel and Apartments is your best bet. We're located at Aduragbemi Junction, Oshuolale, Odiolude, Elega, Abeokuta. Please.
Good day, viewers. Welcome back, viewers. We still have Mr. Kayode Taiwo. And we're still discussing the issue of the reward of the Super. Now, sir, there have also been, people saying all sorts of things about should patriotism be rewarded with physical material things, or should it be just like an act of love? Should it come from it? Basically, should patriotism be rewarded with material things?
Why not? Okay, if you say should patriotism be rewarded with material things, okay, what reward do we then give to those who are doing something that is not good to the nation? If we punish those who are not doing good, who are giving bad image to the country, punish them with maybe sentences, prisons, and all of that, why shouldn't we encourage those ones that are doing good?
Well, will it not lead to a situation whereby people are just playing for the country, not because they actually want to play, but because they know they are going to get something?
Don't let us kid ourselves. Sports is business. So if how do you see? Do you know that all over the world, there's no country that doesn't compensate their players? Or see, if you check the social media, you will see a lot of different programs thrown up for the Lionesses of England for winning the Europe Women's Cup just a day after our own. You see so many people, over 1 million, came around to watch the live performance where another Nigerian was there as guest artists, and they were all happy and all of that. That is giving them moral compensation. The government, I know, and those who are in charge of England's sports will determine, okay, how much do we give these people? They will have to, because get it right, those girls or athletes that go on sporting competition and all of that, if something wrong goes with them, they are the one that feels the pain. If you have a fracture on your leg, even if government is going to pay your bill, is government going to also share in your pains? There are so many things that go along with it. So patriotism is one that you want to play for your country. The actual patriotism is the fighting spirit that you have that say we must win. Because ordinarily, with 2-0 in first half playing against a host team, any athlete could have possibly given up. Like, with all this noise, with all this and that, but then they just kept on fighting. I recall one Ghanaian boxer during the days of Jerry Rollins. He was going into the ring for a world title. Jerry Rollins told him that if you have to die in that ring, die for your country. And that thing, when the guy finished with with that fight, and he was responding to interview, he said what his president told him was still echoing in his brain. That he was just ready, if he has to die, he was just ready to die truly, truly for his country. And eventually he won that title and he became a hero. Coming back to Ghana, as much as Rawlings was more of a revolutionarist, he compensated him. Apart from the monetary agreement involved in that fight, he's a professional fighter. You get so.
Alright.
I don't see anything. There's no way I would see anything wrong with this compensation, honestly.
Let's bring it home to Ogun State.
Yeah.
What would you say about the sports industry in Ogun State? And if there's any way it can be improved or
Yeah, that's a very germane one, and that's another area that I am very much passionate about. Fine. If you look at it now, Ogun State we have four stadia, and in the modern English they call it stadiums, and well, the facilities have been upgraded. Gradually, we are having some individuals funding teams. At least we have one that won the most senior league cup in Nigeria last season. That's Remo Stars, and we also have quite a number of Ogun State sons and daughters doing very well at the international level. But I think for us to revamp sports truly, if we really want to get more of our children off at the social activities, we have to start from the primary school. Now we don't have teachers who teach physical and health in most of our primary schools. We don't also have in secondary schools. And if you look at the statistics of admission into tertiary institutions, go to OOU there, go to TASUD, you will discover that very less number of applicants are interested in the department where sports are taught. But yet, we want, when they now compensate people who have taken their time to go and do sports, we want to say the compensation is too much. We don't want to do. Those who have left every other thing, it's not all those girls that cannot be an accountant. You know, one of them has another calling in the US. What is the name? Is it Okonkwo or something? But he still came to play football. So don't let me digress too much on what I was, trying to. Now, we don't have enough. So what I would expect the Ogun State Ministry of Sports and the Sports Council to do is to organize a kind of crash program. Crash program in the sense that maybe 4 weeks, 6 months, it could be certificate program, it could be diploma and all of that for young lads and lasses that want to teach sports. If you have 1 or 2 persons in the secondary school that can teach sports, we'll get most of our teenagers drifting. I started sports while I was in secondary school, and I got my first call up to the state from the secondary school, and we had a coach that was coming to our school then. Coach Iyekuye was my tennis coach. Later, Coach Mustafa Savage.
so we wouldn't want to go digress.
I am not digressing. I am telling you what the impact of having coaches in our schools to bring sports back. Because as far as I'm concerned, if you look at the last National Sports Festival, all right, yeah, Ogun State did well, fine. But I doubt it if you ask the Sports Council to produce 100% of those athletes, to get them from here. I know that some of our athletes also, trade elsewhere, they live somewhere else, fine. But we are talking about sports development in the states now. All the stadiums, they are being underutilized. Go to Jebu with all the facilities we have. How many competitions have we been holding there? When last did you have national school sports competition in Ogun State? When last did we have age grade competitions? Okay, now we have official swimming pool at the stadium there. Before Ogun State government, in Ogun State we don't have swimming pool that is owned by Ogun State government. We used to have one in Gateway Hotel. All the Gateway hotels have swimming pool, but they are a separate entity. Ogun State as Ministry of Sports or Sports Council don't have. we have just gotten one as a result of this last national sports festival. So where our swimming coaches are they going to schools to go and encourage some of these young lads? For you to be an international athlete, you must have started from primary school. But it's better one we bleeding at 15.
So you believe that like coaching them from the grassroots?
Yes, so we must get more. We must get more people that will teach them. A young boy that doesn't know throwing and catching, you now want him to go and play handball. No.
All right, sir. Thank you very much for your insightful opinions on today's. Is there any recommendations for NSTV?
Yeah, I must commend the NSTV. I do follow some of the interview sessions you have on your platforms, and I could see that well, you're doing well, and I know this is a growing platform, and we'll get there. We'll get there.
Thank you very much. This our guest today has been Mr. Kayode Taiwo, and I am Ada Okafor. Thank you for joining us on today's episode of Journalist Explain This of NSTV. Join us next time as we bring to you more insightful discussions. Till then, stay safe and
Hotel and a pass. Wow! Have you been there before? If not, you are really missing out. Sky